What's going on, traders? Yeah, just want to get back here on the New York session. Just got back from this little meeting I had to go to. Hopefully the audio and everything sounds okay. Back in on the same idea that we had earlier before New York session really took off. Got a couple winning trades already today. Let me go over some of those with you. If you missed the other one. And so I was able to, before New York session kicked off, get a sell position on this impulse, and is able to squeak out some take profit right here. Is able to get back in on it again down here, and then I had a meeting anyway to go to before at 9 o'clock ish. So ended up for profit again down here. Figured there was going to be a bull trap anyway, which there was, and we got a position on the bull trap. So I'm going to jump in a little bit closer on the 1 minute chart here. As you can see, pretty much all in on this position, about $500 position, really going our way at this point. Hopefully going to drop to at least this level. We'll kind of see. We had a pretty big impulsive candle up here, but I wanted to get this stream going so you guys can check out this new trade. So let me get everything going here. Hopefully everything sounds okay. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, really into New York session, up $5. Going to get better at taking profits. I think part of my losing streak here has been letting shit run too much. On a 1 minute chart, all in like we're doing as a scale model, as like how we would do things on like a 4-hour chart or something like that, just to kind of get our feet wet, really swinging for the fences. And so I'm going to try to always from now on, it's like, well, Mike, you've been saying you have these little rules and you've been violating them every step of the way. And it's like, well, that's part of trading. Part of life in general, being disciplined, is when you don't have a master, a human ahead of you, you have to be disciplined in your own self. And so bigger picture here, really going great for us. 680. I'm going to go ahead and lock in these profits at $5. So we got a good winning trade here at $5. It's still dropping. Part of the strategy going forward here out of this sideways range is I'm only interested in GBP USD trades that are sells. I've lost too many trades, trying to go against the trend. Oh, it's going to turn around this time. Oh, it's turning around this time. Just going to go ahead and let that shit go and really keep letting the trend guide our decision making here. It looks like we're getting some retracement a little bit, but not super concerned because we are going to lock out at a $5 profit. At this point, we're just hopefully teetering on the brink of barely touching that stop loss. But we're a little bit lower, so maybe be able to squeak by without tapping that. Won't be a super heartbreaking thing if it does hit that with the $5 profit. Already up, I think, like $15-ish for the day, which is great. Now that it hit our stop loss, we're going to be looking for possible sell position. I'm going to go ahead and just continuously just do all in. The thought process behind that is seems like every order, if I cash out of it, there's some commissions and slippage or whatever the fuck this broker, there's just little nickel and dime things. And I'm going to try to get better at not getting involved in by doing a larger initial lot size. Since it looks like that was a double bottom, so we're going to let that breathe a little bit. It might actually be just a hair's breadth under that candlestick wick. Yeah, it actually is. We'll let that play out just a little bit long. We're going from a downtrend to an uptrend, so before it crashes back down again, kind of the pattern for a bearish to bullish reversal, which can only last, a few candlesticks really in the 1 minute chart. But in the 1 minute chart, we can really see how these inducements play out and everything else, so we don't get tricked by the same trap over and over and over again. Part of the thing that's been tricking me is just being impulsive. Like now, since we just came out of a $5 profit, it's like, oh, it's going back in our direction, let's get a sell right away. I'm going to resist that tendency and see how this thing plays out better. Meanwhile, let me go grab my coffee. I'm going to try to see if we can do a little bit of music so it's not just silence. I know I kind of like silence, but that can be super triggering for a lot of different people. Try to find just music on my own channel. Just instrumental. And that'll just be something just to kind of play as we're see that desktop audio is even working. No. Okay. Let me just go grab this coffee real quick, because this is literally right over there. Hold on, everybody. Now we're back. Let's turn the microphone back on. And so let's get back to the 1 minute chart here. I'm going to get multiple times going for the GBP USD. That's such a freaking, I feel like Dr. Seuss saying that all the time. GPB USD. Let's get at least a 1 minute chart going. We'll do a 15-minute for the short time scale. It's really important not to get tricked into sideways ranges, which can be and should be expected every time there's a drop, especially after a big impulse followed by a drop. Very, very likely to get some sideways range. And I am almost at this point making a rule for myself to avoid sideways range trading like the plague, mainly because they're such small little moves that you can just get nickel and dime with these brokerage fees. And so at this point, I'm waiting to see a reversal pattern from this kind of moving sideways. You can kind of see the sideways movement now. Let me pull these lines up so you guys can see what I'm seeing. And you can either agree or disagree with this assessment here. I'm going to make that less transparent so it's easier to see. I like to have it transparent so I can see through them and see the wicks. So at this point, we're going to assume this is trading sideways. You can see the low, high, low contained in this area. Pull the 15-minute chart up real quick, kind of see what the bigger picture is. Really won't be interested in a trade till we have an inducement, which, if anybody's new to that concept, it's an inducement is when we break through one of these areas. And so if it's an inducement to a bullish side, it should bust through this way and go like this, back down to test, this would be where we buy for a bullish reversal and ride it to the upside. I'm not interested in that anymore because I kept wanting to get to the bottom of the pile here and then just put the stop loss beneath it as it swung higher. But I kept getting screwed every step of the way. Just kept dropping and dropping, then ranging sideways and everything else. And so, to me, it was just like, okay, well, let's stop trying to go against the trend and let's go for what the trend is actually doing. And so what we're looking for as a continuation is it to drop beneath this level. It's basically doing the same type of thing. And so let's get these little guys out of here. And so for a bearish entry pattern that we're waiting for, it's going to be to breach this zone, have a pullback, and in that pullback, that's going to be our entry spot. Hopefully it pulls back up maybe in here. And then ride it all the way down. And so that's what we're waiting to see. And if it breaks it bullish, not interested in the trade. If it breaks bearish like this, that's when we're going to be interested in it. The danger, I'm going to say danger, the obstacle with getting this entry is it could go anywhere in this zone after it breaches this. And that's where we have to be kind of mindful of the price action, the time of day. And so it's like once it breaches, we could put an order in about halfway, maybe, or we can do a market order because it could be anywhere in this area where this could do this. It could do it here and do one of them. It could do one of these. It could be anywhere in this area. Where we'd be interested in it is if it wouldn't be anywhere in the area because we'd want it to be below the breakup structure. It's breaking up higher. So that's what we're kind of looking for. Probably something more like that. And then take a sell. Turn that red so we can indicate a sell. Take a sell position somewhere in that range. But it'll have to be after step one, getting out of this channel. So now we just go fishing, and then we just wait for this fish to bite. But see, it was a good thing to get out of it when we did, because now it's retracing almost all the way back. If we didn't close that position, we'd probably be giving away most of our profits at this point. And on a scalp, like we're scalping, we got to start taking more profits, even if they're $2.50 profits and not just letting them ride. Got to take the base hits. And so let's change that chart to a 4-hour. And look at the 4-hour chart now. You can see those ideas. A lot of these ideas are not panning out. I don't really need that because I can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. But this is still looking like it will, and this is our entry pattern again from a bearish trend to an uptrend. You have this break of formation inducement, which we recognized this morning as an opportunity to sell because we knew it was going to probably get down to this zone for our new higher lower swing low as it kind of breaks this sideways range. It's the same concepts on every time scale because it's fractal. On Sunday, we were kind of waiting and seeing if it was going to break this level here of support down to this dash line, which it appears to be holding now, touching it multiple times, 1, 2, 3 times, and on that third one, it really took off. But now it's coming back down, which is a good time to short, and we might be almost getting ready to break through that zone. Keep an eye on it. But again, it's that same entry pattern on a larger time scale. So we have I won't change that color, but just imagine that to be black. Well, now we have this inducement where it broke through and had a break of formation after having that double bottom. And it might not be a double bottom. It might be very close to a double bottom. It looks like it's a hair's breadth away, a little bit higher than that guy. Looks like we're getting an inducement downwards now, or maybe not. It's kind of ranging sideways. And that's breaking this upper level. Might be a sign that we're getting ready to switch to a bullish uptrend, which is fine. It's almost kind of expected because of what we were dealing with earlier this morning. But kind of to finish that train of thought before kind of getting into that. So we have this sideways channel. We have this initial in step one is we have a new swing low that's slightly higher. So we got these double bottom, 1, 2, double bottom. I'll highlight that so we can all see together. One bottom. Why is that not? One bottom. Two bottom. And then this one was just a hair's breadth on the candlestick wick higher, which was all it needed to then take off to the upside. Way over this break of formation, but then also having a candlestick and that candlestick touch. And while I'm doing this, let me draw it out. So you have the step one. Oops. Step one in the entry pattern on the larger time scale here. I don't know why I can't place that right there. Well, whatever. That'll be purple. So that's step one, slightly above that guy. Followed immediately by an inducement break of structure. And then part of the strategy then on a bullish reversal is it should come down to anywhere from like where it's at, the top of the orders over here to the bottom. It can be anywhere. We can maybe split the difference. It would be about right there as the new swing low spot, which this is the golden zone to buy after we have the step one. Step two, pullback. This is where we buy for a bull trend, for a change of basically a change from bearish to bullish, and then ride it up to the upside. And that would be that pattern on the larger time scale. But again, I'm not interested in buying right now on JPB USD because it's in a downtrend. And so I'm only really interested anymore in selling. I'm not going to keep having no bias and just trying to ride these waves like I'm surfing. Just because it's and this might be a good time to sell. And the reason I took that sell is because part of the entry pattern for a buy would be to catch it when it comes back down to this zone and ride it up higher. But it could just keep riding this wave of hysteria. And I'm all in on this guy, kind of. I'm at 70. What is it, about a little under $500 position right now. Looks like it's starting to move our direction. I would expect it to come back here. Just do a quick little maybe $2-3 scalp. Yeah, this chart's like watching an old man trying to sit down when you're trying to just, oh, yeah. I'm glad this broker doesn't have anything faster than a 1 minute chart, because I'd probably just be on it. It's like, I need some action. Let's go, let's go. Let's make some decisions here. Let's freaking move this thing. I got to kind of look and peer around this microphone too. I don't even have a stop loss in at the moment. Mainly just kind of watching it, close it manually if anything. Yeah, so far this morning been doing pretty good. Up until this trade here, you know, everything has been kind of winning. You know, it's down to 570. Now I'm up to 583, which I'd like to get the account to $600 today, which is definitely doable if we can catch some good moves. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What's going on, everybody? You know, appreciate you being here on part 2 of the trading day. If you missed the first little session before New York kicked off, had a couple winners, and then I had to go kind of get some stuff prepped for another handyman job, flipping another house. I got yesterday some power washing done. I'm going to be painting a house when I get back from this trip. You know, really kind of getting everything geared up for the next few weeks as far as the business is concerned, which is kind of good for this channel. You know, have plenty of ability to keep this funded. I don't want to continuously just keep running a Ponzi. You know, every time I run out of money, just print up some more and put it in the account. But like, I'd like to really get this thing profitable and in balance. At this moment here, it's kind of going against us a little bit. Down in the hole, $1.67, $1.80. Not really thrilled with that reverse hammer that we're seeing, but also kind of glad that we haven't hit this threshold. I can draw another one of these. I don't like having a ton of these, but for visualizing here, you know, since it didn't skyrocket above this level, we're stuck more so on this order block. Pretty likely it's going to crash at this point, but we'll see. You know, let me double check, make sure there's no news or anything. I've been fucked by that a handful of times, these news things. This site, forexfactory.com, this is where I go to check to see if there's any news related things. Some people like to check this to make their trading plans. You know, they'll trade the news, you know, which sometimes, you know, it can work out, you know, where like you get in on it early and then next thing you know, this thing just sky's the limit, takes off huge. But I've had it go against me where it's just like I didn't even know there was a news thing going on. I'm just like sitting here patiently waiting for a sideways market to have a breakout, and then next thing you know, boom, boom, you know, and hit my stop loss, takes off, or then it's like, what the hell's going on? Then there's like a big impulsive thing happening, and then it's like you try to get in on it, but then the broker just puts these spreads, so it's like, oh, it's going up, and you know, it's just barely breached this point, it came back or whatever, and you go to make a buy, and it's like, I'm in the whole $8. How the fuck is that possible? You know, and so I don't really has like a strategy wise do it. You know, if I just happen to be on a trade and it happens, it happens. That's part of the intense part of trading. Is it's like it's almost like jail, where it's just like it's really boring in the sense that it's like it's nothing dramatic is really happening all that much. But it's like anything could. I mean, you'd be sitting here and just for no reason it just takes off in the opposite direction. It could skyrocket the other way too. It's like, don't underestimate how fast this shit can just spin out or fucking go in your favor. It's going against me now. But do we just have a double top? Looks like we just had a double top, so it might actually... Oh, and it's actually a little bit lower, so that's good news for us. You can kind of see, make that as thin as possible so you can see how precise we're fucking with this. See how precise we can get. See how that's just barely not even touching it. That's a good probability for us that now it's going to drop back down to, at least down here. That was a really promising move right there. At this point, I feel really confident that we knocked this one out of the park. But I've said that before, and then drama. But it's 10:40 New York's trading session time, so we have a little, probably another hour or so of really strong moves, volume. Seems like a lot better trading day than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was a lot of sideways bullshit and just indecision, and it was just moving in a fucked up way. And like I kind of violated my own rules, by trading the Swissy, just I wasn't doing a live stream trading that. I was just doing that just because I was frustrated with this pair, and it's just like just wanted to try something that was like actually trending and not just ranging sideways. And yeah, we saw how that treated us though, so we stick to our initial game plan here and see what this does. Like I said, I feel pretty confident since there was this inducement. Should have waited just a hair longer to see this leveling out. But again, it's that impulsive, like, oh, I'm gonna miss it. It's already starting to go down. That's the thing that tricks me a lot, is where it's just like it goes back and forth a lot more than you would think. It's like, oh shit, it's going down. Everybody in their right mind would be selling right now. And then it's like, they're still buying? What the? They're still buying? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. You lunatics. It's a downtrend. Sell. And then it just turns into just like, what the fuck? It reminds me a lot of like during COVID, if you were not under the spell of hysteria and they're like trying to make these offers to you, like, well, we've tested, in your whole adult history, we've never been able to do a vaccine for viruses, including like the scourge of the earth, AIDS, and all of these different things that have killed all these millions of people over the years, virus-related problems that my entire childhood, teenage, adult life. If you get herpes, you're fucked. It's a virus. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, oh, okay. But then all of a sudden, now we have this surprise, during this, 1 year, we got it all figured out now. Never been able to for, 20, 30 years successfully. But, it's safe and effective, and we want you to do your part and inject this into yourself. And, like, you would think the normal person that's like an adult, at least, has been like, hey, you've never been able to deal with herpes or AIDS or, any of these, like, virus-related issues because you can't make a vaccine for viruses or whatever successfully. That was always what I was told. Well, now we can. It's like, really, can you? It's like there's no liability, there's no this, and it's like you would think more people would be like, that's fucking crazy. No. But here we are. I mean, it's the same kind of thing with the way this moves. It's like, really, we're back up here again after that drop, after what's going on. It's like, and we're still going. It's like, what? And so it's like you almost have to like adjust your strategy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of this trade as soon as it pulls back a little bit. I don't like how that wick just broke that. We'll be a little bit more patient. And that could have just been a stop loss hunt. But we're getting into this other zone over in here, so we'll wait for some more confluences of a downtrend, or yeah, for sells. That fish got away. And so let's get at the bigger picture so we don't get confused with what we're looking at. 15-minute is not necessarily the biggest picture, but it's easier to kind of see what's happening. It's like, okay, what the fuck is this? Where are we at? You know, you get really just in the weeds in this 1 minute chart. It starts becoming confusing. I'm going to look for a sell, actually, once it breaches this zone. But, you know, the thing with it going from an uptrend to a downtrend, we're going to start actually looking for those entry patterns too, because you might even consider this as a sideways range, possibly. You know, I mean, it's in the sideways range. There's obviously up and down movement, but for a sell position, we had this inducement right here, and like I said, we've been making out really good on this. Kind of got tricked a little bit, and it's like could be getting tricked into another I'm not gonna fall for this trick. I was tempted because it's like, damn, I get in on that. Where'd that stop? That stopped. I almost think that's a fake out, because this wick, we get really precise. Get this shit on my road here. Let's really get in on this. So that's the high. It is higher than this one. And where is it at over in here? It's actually higher than a lot of these wicks. Even that guy over there. So I would think that this is going to be a fake out. Mainly, my main reasoning for that is, like I said, it's a higher than these wicks, and so I would think that it would go. We got almost a double bottom going. Double bottoms don't always mean they're going to bounce, but it's a good sign that it might. We're kind of dealing in probabilities here, and not 100% absolutes. So, kind of assuming this will probably take back off. Really tempted to get a buy-in, but I'm going to resist that. Resist that urge. Man, it's setting up so nicely for a buy, though, because it'll probably go up to here then too. Just jump in the chat if anybody's in here. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. I was gonna say, you know, should I just take the fucking buy and just put the stop loss beneath this guy and just ride this up? Should I do it? Should I do it? It's so tempting. Let's see if I'm gonna miss it. Should I do it? I'm just gonna fucking do it. At a smaller position. Let's see if creation comes back and bites me in the ass for doing that. I'm gonna just sneak that stop loss beneath this guy. It's only a basically 75% loss if I'm wrong here, but you know, I think it's not just the 75 cents, because then I think there's broker bullshit, commissions and whatnot on top of it. So I think those are at least 50 cents, but I'm not sure. And so we're gonna look for that. Let's do it where the take profit would be. Sick. Such a little move here. That is not even really worth it. But you know, kind of the reasoning behind that was, like I said, it was above these wicks here, so I would assume it's going to try to test at least this level here, and then we're going to be looking actually for sells then too. And if this starts going against me at all, I'm going to fucking cancel it, because like I said, this is still part of a danger zone. And it's possible it could even come up to here, if it did come up to here before dropping back down. And I should have just waited. It's starting to turn against us a little bit. Yeah, it turned against us. Okay, fuck. I should have just got that sell. That's retarded of me for doing that. Don't buy in downtrends, Mike. Don't buy in downtrends. You know how many times I can repeat that to myself before I listen? I wonder why I can't have music playing on the desktop. I'm going to try to get that fixed real quick. See if that ruined my microphone. Nope, microphone's still working. Let's see if we can get some music. I'd like to have a little bit of music going. Just instrumental, I guess. You know, if I had to step away from the screen, it's time here. It'd be nice to just have something going so people aren't just sitting in complete dead air. I'm gonna do this guy. See if this not getting anything. That looks like it's doing something. I'll have to listen to that on playback to see if that's obnoxious or not. Try to get those levels sounding good. And we'll go ahead and we're just gonna bring that really down low. Just the volume of the music here. And then I'll just listen to it on playback, I guess, you know, and see if it sounds okay, if it's too loud, if it's obnoxious. Kind of go from there. Get back to the chart and kind of see what's going on. We got a big rejection candle here on the 1 minute. We got a range going on here. if you see these big candlestick wicks, you can kind of come up with your own little story about what's going on, because once you kind of see, okay, well, we got this selling pressure down to here, but then that's showing a shitload of buying pressure, from the buyers like getting in on it. Like I tried to get in on it and failed when I should have. We're back to where we started from, so that's okay. Lesson learned. No more buying in these fucking uptrends or these downtrends. Since that's lower, I'm actually be very mindful of taking a sell. Yeah, it's working out nice. The reason I did that is because that was lower than this guy. And it's a sign that it's not enough buying strength to continue that uptrend. Plus, again, we're on this downtrend, so we have kind of that same entry pattern. The problem is when you start seeing these entry patterns, if you start getting carried away with it, it's like you see it everywhere. It's like you're starting to see things like a mirage. Let me just turn that off. I don't want the music to continue to be going and it being distracting and sounding like shit. Hopefully it sounded good. If it sounds good, then I might consider the next time to just have some looping instrumental music or something, just to keep the energy at a chill pace. I'm going to go ahead and put a stop in just for fun. We just do a 5 pip and then dial it in. We're going to go right above this. So that ends up being $1.63 risk. But the reward on this guy is going to be big. Do at least a $10 take profit. And that will get back to kind of this order blocks down in here. Let's see where that lines up on the 15-minute. Not bad position. Especially if you consider this a sideways range. Kind of like right there. And right here. If you consider this kind of a sideways range, which I'm kind of considering it a sideways range because of this impulse then down. This would be a premium sell in this range, and this would be a premium buy down in here. So should hopefully go our direction here. It's already starting to, but there is some of this hysteria from this guy. But like I said, since it didn't cross above that, really good sign for us. That could be considered like a bull trap. Good sign for us that it's going to start to drop. And like I said, I'm going to be mindful on these P&L for these scalps, not to get over greedy. I don't even know if it's over greedy as much as like not. It's like, well, unless it's a $5 take profit, I'm not going to even touch it. But I'll take under $5 losses all the time. Can't continue getting these losses without having a counterbalance to them. So we'll take those minor wins then too. At $1, if I closed it now, I don't even think I would make money because of where the spread is, and then the commissions and everything. I'd have to look for sure. I got to get that dialed in so I know exactly what my bottom break-even number is. I've just been more concerned at this point with just the strategy of the candlesticks and everything else. And it's like the technicalities with the broker is kind of its own little thing. I gotta like look around this microphone then too to try to see what's going on. So if you see me peering around or whatever. We're still at $1 profit, but this is kind of a danger zone, really. You know, biggest confluence for one is this guy just not reaching that same level. And then we have this big. You almost can look at this as an inducement for a sell, because of how dramatically it broke this little sideways range. You know, where these two little micro levels are. And then you can actually probably pull it up more like so. Use this as the bottom. But since it went through, even though it did have a lot of buying pressure to push it back up, that buying pressure didn't seem to be enough to get over this hump, which is, I feel like enough of a kick in the nuts where it's just like not worth especially with it being a downtrend. Not the best decision to continue a buy on that. So that's why I switched it to really jumping in on a sell position. Although then we see these wicks kind of going on an uptrend, but I don't think it's gonna matter. It's like they're getting smaller and smaller. What's going on, everybody? Just jump in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully your day is going profitable and not heartbreaking and frustrating and losing all your money. And hopefully you're not over leveraging your rental properties and credit cards and everything else and really getting into the hole. Yeah, I was listening to a lot of people, that weird pattern where it's like a lot of times you'll hear, I first started doing Forex or trading. I had this initial success followed by, then I lost everything of my life savings. It's like, okay, well, be really disciplined about the scale model so that doesn't happen. I'm not really thrilled with how much this is just lingering, but we are almost doubled now to $2 profit, which is good. With it just diddling, might close it here shortly if it starts turning around on us, but it looks like it's really going in our favor. Waiting for this candlestick, looking for that to fill in, which it might do it right now. Look at that big shit stain right there. Look at everybody's like, that was buying, all of a sudden just like, fuck, I'm stuck. Now you wonder how many people in the world right now are getting tricked by this pattern and have like 100 lots or something crazy. It's like, holy shit, it's like I lost $1,000 in just this little candle. I'd like to, as things grow and get better skills at this, I'd like to, grow this to a big account so that it's super exciting as you're watching and you're seeing the P&L just go crazy or whatever. At 270, and this is the type of shit, it's like in the past I wouldn't even consider closing this out. If this was a losing position at 272, I would close it every time, because it's a quarter. At 578, a 1% risk is $5.78. So this is a 0.5%, and it's starting to turn around on us. And so you know what? Let's take those micro wins. Let's get that, and then actually hopefully get another. Maybe we'll go up to here, and we can get another sell. A reason I kind of wanted to do that is you can almost see how quickly these things can start turning. So this candlestick wick closed slightly higher than this bearish candle. And when you look to the left here, we got a body close. that candlestick is, let's see where that guy went. Is that a double bottom? As of right now, it is. So we're kind of at a support zone. And it blasted through it. But we're not going to feel like we just missed out on that. We'll wait for it to come back up a little bit more, and we'll take another sell. Now, I would assume, since it crossed this threshold now, I would actually assume that this candlestick will probably fill all the way in this sell. But part of the thought process, and getting better and better, is like in the past where I wouldn't have sold right there. The problem is if then you start buying and then selling and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is almost kind of compounding. Take profit there, get back in on it once you're at a good spot. I'm just gonna let this guy ride now for a little bit. I think, where's that candlestick drop at this? So this candlestick is kind of the next milestone to breach, which corresponds kind of to this order block, which we're already, you can see we're already kind of blasting down through it. And that block kind of is in here. Not thrilled with the direction it's going. And so, like in the past, we can kind of see we got candlestick up, up, up. Where did that go? Are we about to give away all of our profit? From that last winning trade? I don't know. A lot of selling pressure. And that big rejection wick. I'm hoping to see it fill into here right now. But if it does not cross these thresholds, I'd be tempted to close the trade out. It's moving in our direction now. A little bit lower than that guy. So that's a good first step. Make sure our microphone and everything. It's 11 o'clock New York session time, so got a little bit of action that could happen here still. Kind of a rejection on our bearish candle there for a second. We got a quick little move there. Yeah, the money maker will be once that candlestick wick right there gets filled in, because really at that point, yeah, we're in a kind of sideways order block area, whatever you want to call this. So it's not super surprising there's some resistance and drama going on, and seeing this thing bounce. But again, that's a good sign that that wick is way below this one. A lot of indecision at the moment. And just waiting for that final just big fuck you bearish candle. You know, just that blasts through this entire range on all these orders, which it looks like it's getting ready to. You can watch the P&L up here. I feel like that's a little bit almost quicker as price action. I'm not really thrilled with how these candlestick wicks at the moment continue to kind of be on an uptrend. There we go. We got a big fuck you bearish candle, which like wiped out all of those. That's very demoralizing to the buyers. It's like, oh shit, it's not going our direction now. But you know, so much of these charts, it's just like waiting for an old man. Just make your fucking decision and go, people. You know, it's like that's what drives me crazy half the time. Just sitting here, just like, oh it went, no, oh it went, no, oh no, oh, and it's just like, come on, just get some freaking moves going. Yeah, it's still moving in our direction. For the most part, our direction being the seller's direction, because that's what we're aligning ourselves with. That candlestick right there is a really good sign for us. That's well, up until that point, and they call that like the reverse hammer or whatever. Which normally, if that holds for longer than 30 seconds, you know, it fills in the opposite way. Is consolidating at the moment, but not advancing up higher, which is good. Still indecision. Let's look at the higher time scale. See what we're looking at. Pretty obvious, you know, that it's kind of ranging sideways, but we got a lower high and a lower high, which is promising for sell positions. We're about to get that big fuck you bear candle. Looks like it. It's not abnormal too when you see a new lower low get breached, broken, whatever, immediately to see a I'm going to try to say a bullish candle following it. It's very common. It might even be a good entry plan pattern to consider in the future. You know, settings, maybe an alarm for a breach of a lower swing for buy positions on an uptrend only. I was getting more in, you know, oh, just ride the wave up and down. It'll be like surfing, blah blah blah. You know, now I'm getting a little less. I don't want to be doing all these little micro moves, mainly because the only one that appears to be winning in that scenario is the broker with all these little fees and everything. Really excited now at this point. We got the candlestick wick really dropping beneath all of these candlestick wicks, breaking through this order block zone, if that's even what you want to call this. You know, just this area of sideways, up and down, indecision, whatever. We got a new lower, and that almost could be considered an inducement. You know, inducement down. If you look at, because I don't want to get too carried away with this shit, because it's like you start seeing it everywhere. But if you look at it sideways, range like that. Again, you had this dramatic inducement down, followed by bringing it up to like here. But you know, that I think that might almost just be trying to see shit that's just may or may not even be real. At the moment, up almost 50 cents, waiting for this thing just to break through this level. Okay, so just to draw the level out for everybody, so we're all seeing the same thing. So basically, once it breaks through this level, which it already did that one time, it's doing it at the moment, should then target the levels like right here. That's going to be the next target that this thing will drop to and probably break and stop for a while. If not, you know, it could just blast right through it. If it's got a big fuck you vibe to it, you know, it might just blast through that. And if it blasts through this, there's not really anything else stopping it till about there. You know, so if you think of this price as going towards stop losses and buy orders and sell orders, you know, it's like most traders would have a lot of stop losses underneath this little area of the chart, that area, top. But in these no man lands where you just have these impulses, and a lot of people probably don't have stop losses, buy orders, sell orders, just in smack dab in the middle of this bullshit. So it should, you know, have a stop. You know, if you had an order here, your stop loss would probably be beneath this wick, which is probably where this guy will at least test. But then at the same time, if you get a lot of aggressive price action down, you know, that's a big fuck you to buyers, which if there's a lot of volume, it could just blast right through that shit. And at this point, $3.97, $4, we're keeping an eye out for any type of resistance, pullback. This level where we got the line is danger zone for that. 389, you see a reverse hammer, which basically you can think about it as like, okay, well, it opened at the top of the hammer, pushed all the way down the wick, started getting some buying pressure going up, but as a whole, that thing is bearish still. Now we're at this level where the line is, which is the top of this consolidation area. Very probable that it'll have some either slowing down, bouncing, you know, some sort of activity. That big bearish candle there, 389. At this point, I'm going to close it. 381, and you see how it tapped that area of interest. Now we're starting to get some movement in the opposite direction. 582 doing better than I have been doing, you know, and I think a big part of that is going to be grabbing those $3 zones. In the past, like I said, I would just hold and just wait too long. At this point, you know, it's a bitter pill to swallow when it still goes down. But looking at my trades in particular, you know, I'd take $5 profits, $7.50, and $10. You know, hoping for that $10 profit. And look at that thing, just dropped even more. I could squeeze another couple bucks out of it, but that's okay. We're up for the day, and New York session is just about over. And I have another job to go to anyway. Looks like it's going to go all the way down. Should have held it a little bit more, but hindsight 2020. There's a really good chance when it gets to this lower spot of this range that it'll bounce anyway. And if, 50% of the time I'm taking these like $2 losses, $3 loss, not even getting up to the $5, 1% losses, but it's more of like the quarter, these little micro cuts over and over again. And so to compensate, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I grab a $3 profit instead of just holding it, but then you can see what happens if that goes wrong. Now all of a sudden we just left, probably half profit on the table, and it's still dropping. And the temptation is, well, let's just get on in it now. But now we're at a shitty position. It's really likely to bounce because it's at the bottom of this range. And buyers looking for a good buy. Really, really not worth it to buy or to sell or do anything at the moment. That actually might be a good spot to be done for the day, being in profit, having a good profitable day. That's good. I think the low, I think it was at 570 actually this morning. Let me look it up on my phone because it's easier to look it up on the phone than... Okay, so that last trade that we just got out of, 67 cents went to commissions, $12 went, or 12 cents went to the spread. So I ended up netting $3.81 on that trade. Yeah, we had some good trades today. So it looks, I don't know why sometimes the commissions are 67 cents and then sometimes they're 30 cents. I think it has to do with the stop loss, and look, it's still going down. We could have got an awesome fucking buy on now. But we're not going to think like that. We're not going to feel like we missed out. We're just going to close this shit and we're going to be done for the day. And so, with that being said, I appreciate everybody liking, sharing, subscribing. Appreciate your support. Let me jump in the chat, see if anybody's in here real quick. Doesn't look like it at the moment. But hopefully, as we continue to do these more reliably and kind of get a group of us, in the chat, maybe it's trading at the same time. Maybe other people trading different pairs or whatever. It doesn't really matter. We just get a little community of little like-minded people. Yeah, that's kind of the game plan, I guess, moving forward. But, until then, one day at a time. But I'm going to bounce. So, thanks, everybody. And I don't know if I'll be doing any more of these the rest of the week because I'll be out of town. I might continue to trade on my phone or just wait till I get back. So, we'll see. If you see any of these streams going, feel free to jump in. Till then,